Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 27th of May 2024. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. Today I'm going to make a vintage looking card. I'm going to just do a little bit of sort of distressing and making it look sort of a bit antique-y. And I'm going to use a bundle that was from the last mini catalogue called Stippled Roses. It has carried over into the new annual catalogue, but it's no longer bundled together, so the stamp set and dies are separate. So let's switch down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, so here is our annual catalogue. So I've got carryover sets up here. Oopsie. And here it is, down the bottom of this page. I've got stuff everywhere. Let me just move some stuff so I can get my catalogue into vision. So this one, it's down page 79 and it's down in the bottom right corner. Stippled Roses stamp set and dies. So the stamp set's a cling rubber stamp set and it's $47 in Australia. And the dies are $58. Now, when bundles come out, when they first come out, they're bundled together and they're discounted by 10%. When they carry over, they're no longer bundled together. So you do miss that 10% discount if you want the dies and the stamp set. So if you see a bundle when it first comes out, that's the best time to get it because you're saving 10% on the bundle. If it does carry over, then they're separated. They're not bundled together, so they've got two separate prices, two separate item numbers. Hope that makes sense. So that's the stamp set and dies we're playing with today. I also need to tell you we've only got less than a week to go. Oops, hang on. I'm throwing things around. Oh my goodness. Less than a week to go on this great starter kit special. So here in Australia, you pay $169 and you can order $235 worth of product. That's the normal starter kit and includes free shipping and free business supplies. But for the month of May, they've thrown in this in-colour bundle, which is the 5 in-colour stamp pads, ink pads, the new in colours for this year, 2024 to 2026. They've thrown in the in-colour cardstock where you get 4 sheets of each colour, pack of the 6x6 designer series paper and the in colour stamp and write markers. That alone is valued at $144 and that is thrown in to the starter kit for free. So you don't have to pay for that, that's free. All you've got to do is pay $169, choose $235 worth of product and you'll get this for free. So if you've got a big wish list of things in the catalogue, in this catalogue that you really want, or the online exclusives, this is a great way of getting them. Now, saying that, you don't have to do anything as a demonstrator. You will get a 20% discount on future orders, but you don't have to run classes. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to run classes. You don't have to do videos. You don't have to do any of that. You can just be a happy crafter getting a discount. And I think that's the way most of us start out. So if you're interested in that, this runs through to the 31st of May, which will be Friday. So let me know and I can help you sign up. Otherwise, you can go to my online store via my blog, stampingpassion.blogspot.com, and sign up by yourself. But if you need any help, just let me know. So, okay, so this was my trial run of my vintage card and I am going to change it a little bit. My aim for this card was to use this new basic beige colour and I have used the cardstock but I didn't use the ink pad. I was going to, but I didn't get around to that. I started playing and got carried away and just used the cardstock, so that's okay. So this is now, it's not in a colour family, it's called basic beige. And it's a little bit like Sahara Sand, which has retired. We don't have Sahara Sand. No, we don't have Sahara Sand anymore. But yeah, maybe next week I'll use this this ink in my card, but I was going to do that today, but I kind of forgot. Got carried away. So yeah, so I'm going to do this again, kind of recreate it a little bit differently. I got the inspiration for this card off Pinterest, and I do like the way it came together, but I don't like the two embossing folders. I prefer just using the one. So I got the eyelet embossing folder this week with the free shipping. I think I got that in free shipping. I'm going to use that all over because I think I like that, and yeah. And I'm going to do the roses again. So let's start playing. I'm going to, so I have got, and I've forgotten to do my measurements. Not to worry. Standard A5 card base, basic beige A5 card base, A4 cut in half at 14.9, scored at 10.5 to give us a landscape card. I've got a matting piece of pecan pie, which is 10 centimetres by 14.4 centimetres. And I've got another piece of basic beige that's going to be embossed and put on top of that pecan pie matting piece. And it's 9.5 centimetres by 13.9. So we're going to emboss that with the eyelet embossing folder. I've already pre-cut some little leaves from the Stippled Roses, so we'll just put those there. This is what I'm going to stamp on. So I'll do my stamping and we can die cut and emboss in one go. Now, what did I do with my blocks? Here they are. I moved them out of my way and I forgot to bring them back. Okay, so it is a really beautiful stamp set. It's a distinctive stamp set. So you've got all of this beautiful detail in the rubber stamp. So it's really beautiful, and it's got some lovely sentiments: sending thanks, congratulations, best birthday wishes, and happy Mother's Day. So it's a lovely stamp set. So let's get a big rose image and put that on our E block. It does fit, yes. And our little rose image, we'll put that on our C block. Now I am going to stamp them in pecan pie, which is one of the neutral colours. So let's ink it up. I'm going to ink it up this way. So this is sort of a little bit of a technique-y video today. I'm just making sure I don't want to cut it off, make it too small for my die, so I'm just making sure I've got it right. Yeah, so it's sort of a little bit of a technique kind of video today. That's that one. And now I've lost my chamois. Here it is. I buried it. I've really got to have a good tidy of my craft room. I've got to list some more retired products and have a bit more of a tidy in my craft room because it's just getting out of control. Does anybody else have that problem where your craft room gets out of control? Mine is at the out of control stage. So I'm just inking up the small rows. Now I have got some ink around the edge. So when you get ink around the edge, you can wipe it off. I do see people wiping it off with their finger, but then that would be no good for me because then I'd put my fingers on my cardstock. You can get a tissue and wipe around it. But the best way, so you don't transfer that ink around the edge, is just to stamp it and not rock. Just straight up and down. I haven't transferred any of that ink. So it's not a big problem. Where's a scrap? Here's a scrap. Oops. Let me show you. If you rock, let me ink it up again. Now I have got, can you see, I've got ink all around the edge. If you stamp it and rock, of course that didn't work. I mean, it's still quite perfect. Let's try again. Okay, that's worked. If you rock when you stamp it down, you get that shadow around your image if you've got ink all around the edges. But if you just stamp straight down and straight up, you don't get that shadow, even if you've got ink on the edges. So that's just a little tip. I'll just clean that off. I've got to show you those two. I'll put those over there. Okay, I've cleaned that off and popped that back into my stamp set. And now I shall get, close this up, we will need it again. I shall get my cut emboss machine in because we are going to die cut and emboss. So let's get that panel. This is a beautiful eyelet embossing folder. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's really quite beautiful. It'll probably be better once the cardstock's embossed with it. So let's pop that down here. Okay, let's bring in our cut emboss machine. So I'll just grab that. A little tape stuck to me. I'll move it up a little bit. I can't. Got stuff in the way. There we go. Okay, so we'll put our big piece of cardstock in. And we'll grab our dies. So that's that one. And the little one. Okay, now I use this tape to tape my die down so it won't move. And then hopefully I get a nice good clean cut. And I always cut before I colour, because once again you don't want to spend time colouring your stamped image out in, and then when you die cut it you get it all skew with and the die cutting is terrible. So I cut before I colour. Sorry, I cut before I colour. Oh, see, even that just moved. So just put that back around. Is that right? No, that's where I want it. Okay, I'll put my plate straight down on top. And I'm going to wind that through. Okay, so let's have a look. We'll just get rid of the tape. There's our little tiny rose all cut out nicely. I'll put the die back so I don't lose it. And here is our big rose image, all cut out nicely. So I'll put those two down there. And put my die back in my case. Whoops. And that's scrapped now. And now I'll just get rid of these two plates, because when you're using a 3D embossing folder, you just need your base plate and your number 4 plate. So let's just get my beautiful eyelet embossing folder and pop that down. Pop our number 4 plate on top and wind it through. And this is the second time, but the first time on a big piece of cardstock I've used this eyelet embossing folder. Isn't it gorgeous? Love it. Okay, let's get rid of the cut emboss machine because we don't need that again. I'll bring our bits and pieces back in. We don't need that embossing folder anymore, so I'll pop it back into its little bag. Okay, so let's bring in our sample card. And this was really hard. I cut this piece, basic beige piece, diagonally, and it was quite hard to wrap the ribbon around. So that's why I thought, not going to do that again. Okay, so before we attach that to our panel, our pecan pie panel, I'm going to do a little bit of splattering onto it. Now I have my dark pecan pie marker, and you can splatter like this, flicking it from the lid, but I don't like doing that because I don't want to damage my marker nib. So just move things out of the way, and I've got my bone folder and I'm going to just tap it and that's going to put some splatter onto our embossed card base. I will show you once it's done. That's probably enough. I'll pop that inside with the lid back on a minute. And I am going to just grab a tissue just for any splatter that might have got onto my glass mat, which there was some. And can you see the little bit of splatter on this piece of cardstock? You might not be able to, but it is there, promise. Now the other way you could do it is if you had a little dottage stamp or a splatter stamp, you could stamp that all over your basic beige before you run it through the emboss machine. That is another way of doing it. Now I am going to bring in my daubers. Now I have put daubers on my list on my next order because my pecan pie dauber is falling apart and it's very annoying. So daubers do have a lifespan. The foam ends up rotting and then you get little bits of foam everywhere and that's really annoying. So, but today we're going to have to make do and we're going to just dauber around the edge. See, can you see all the little bits of foam that's falling off? I thought I had another pack of daubers in my drawer, but I didn't. So a pack of 5 daubers, I think I looked it up when I added it to my cart. You can actually add things to your cart and just leave them in your cart. You don't have to check out. They will stay there until you check out. So when I think of something I need, I just put it in my cart, and then when it comes time to, you know, finalizing that order, I'm not going to forget, because unless I write it down, I tend to forget. Okay, so I've just put some pecan pie ink around that, and that's pretty good. And yes, my dauber is on its last legs, but I don't have another one to take over as yet. Okay, so that is going to go onto that, but before I do that, I am also going to do some scruffing. Now we used to sell, there we go, we used to sell a, what was it called? A distress tool. We don't sell that anymore, which is really sad. But you can use your scissors, the edge of your scissors. But I am just going to distress the edges of my cardstock. So if you've got a distress tool, an old distress tool, or one from somewhere else, use that. It will make fluff and mess. If you don't have a distress tool, get your paper snips and you can do it this way. That's another way of distressing your cardstock. So, but because I've got the old distress tool, I'm going to use that. So it just scruffs it up. I'll show you closely when we get to it. And you can go as hard on it as you like, or not so much if you don't like too much distressing. And I will grab my wipe or something to get rid of all this fluff and mess. Okay, so this is just some easy techniques to make your cards look a little bit more vintage. Right, let's get rid of that. And you can see the little bit, it's a bit like the foam dauber falling apart. So I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so that's looking a little bit distressed and vintage. So let's put that onto our matting piece. Okay. And then we've got the start. Let me see. I don't know if I really... The splatters are sort of everywhere. It doesn't really matter which way I put it down. There we go. Oops. I think I want that up a little bit. A little bit of shimmy room when you use the glue. which I really like, being able to shimmy. Okay, now that's going to go onto our base, but I will wait because I want to put ribbon around it. So now let's start working on our roses. Now, I'll do all my pecan pie daubering so that it can fall apart so it's hard to content. Around your big rose image, I'm just going to dauber some pecan pie just to make it look a little bit more rustic and vintagey. You don't have to be too pedantic about it. So daubers are a consumable, as you can see with this one. It's sort of good that this one's in such a bad state of affairs, because you can see that they do have a lifespan and that you do need to replace them. Okay, so that's, oh no, still got a little bit more to go. And this dauber falling apart really annoying me. But we're just going to keep pushing on. Okay. So that's our rose, our large rose image, looking a little bit antiqued. This is our small rose image that I'm just going to do the same. Get in there a little bit into little nooks and crannies. So when you're doing vintage looking cards, you can sort of make them look grungy. And sometimes that's fun. Okay, these are two little leaves from the dies. I'm also going to just dauber around them carefully, just to grunge them up a little bit. So when you flick the ink spots onto your card, as I said, you can flick the nib with the cap, but I just fear that that will damage the nib, so that's why I bang it on my bone folder, because I don't want to damage the nib. Okay, that one should do. So there, and we'll start at the bottom and work our way around. These are very delicate little leaves. Oh, that little piece has got to pop out. So I had a fun fold class yesterday, Saturday, and the PDF tutorials for the 3 cards are now available for purchase. They're $10, 10 Australian dollars for the 3 tutorials, and each tutorial has a link to a YouTube video that I've done making the same fold. So it's a written tutorial and a link to a video. So I think that's all my pecan pie. Thank goodness for that. Now I'm going to have to get another dauber when I can order them. Get off. Okay, now I need the pecan pie for my sentiment. Now I'm going to get bubble bath, and my bubble bath dauber, where is that? Here it is. And I'm just going to dauber the roses in this pink, and it's just a really subtle way of colouring. We've got many tools that you can colour with, but sometimes just going back to basics with daubers is really good. So that's that rose. Now I'm just going to do this big rose image, and I'm just dabbing. I'm not scuffing around, I'm just dabbing to apply the ink. Like so. And this is the big rose. And because you've got all the stippled, well, it's called Stippled Roses, isn't it? Because you've got all the distinctive stippling already on the stamp, we're just adding a bit of colour. The stamp itself is giving the distinctive look of the roses. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so I'm just going to do these little buds. And there's some more buds around here, so I'll just do those. And we're having some lovely weather at the moment. I really like it when it's nice and sunny. Took our puppy for a walk this morning and we had a coffee and that was lovely. Okay, I think that's pretty much the roses done. We'll keep that there just in case. We'll close up our ink pad. I'll just lift that up and see if you can see. Can you see the colour coming onto the rose? I hope you can. It is there, I promise. Now I'm going to get Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to get the Lost Lagoon dauber. No, that's not it. This is it. And I'm going to put a little bit of Lost Lagoon onto the leaves. And once again, I'm just tapping to transfer the ink. And particularly if your ink pad is very juicy, you do not want to sort of smush it in and then transfer it and get a great big blob. So sometimes a light hand is best because you can always go back and add more. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay. You can always make things darker, but you can't make things lighter. Okay, I think that's looking pretty jolly good. I'll try and put a little bit of green there on that stem. Now, can you see that? Can you see how that's coming together? If you want to go back and apply a little bit more pink, you can. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of Lost Lagoon onto these leaves. They've already got their pecan pie dirty edges, rustic looking edges, and just a little bit of Lost Lagoon here. There we go, that looks pretty good. Okay. And you could see that those daubers worked. They didn't fall apart. So there is a lifespan. Okay, so let's put our little bits and pieces here and let's grab our ribbon. Now this ribbon I've used is an online exclusive and it's in the Meandering Meadow suite, I'm pretty sure. And it's got pecan pie through it. It is very vanilla and pecan pie, but I think it looks okay on the basic beige. So we're going with that. Just cut that there. And I shall put a little bit of sticky on the back. There we go. I don't have much success with the seal. It's not my best friend. So I'm just going to wrap that around my card matting like so. And I will do a bow like I've done on this one. But now, for the moment, I shall put that onto my card base. And let's just put the glue like so. A little bit of glue there. I hope that doesn't spurt out. So this is onto our card base. Make sure I've got it the right way around. Don't want to do our card upside down. Okay. Okay, so that's looking pretty nice, I think. So now we're just going to work out where we want to put our roses. Now, I've made this one sort of more over to the right hand side. I might go more into the middle this time round. I was trying to cover the split in the embossing folders, I do prefer the one embossing folder, much prefer the one. Okay, and then this little one I'm going to pop up as well, like so. Then I think we'll tuck that under there. Oops, it's stuck to my finger. And we might pick, I can't pick this one up. And we might just tuck that one in there. Okay, let's start putting this up on dimensionals. At the end of a pack of a sheet, so we may as well use them up. And I just don't know where I want to put these ones because I don't know where I want to tuck. Oh, that didn't work. Where I want to tuck things in. Maybe if I do it more at an angle. So we're going to tuck one down here. Look, I'm just going to just be mindful and so that I've got tucking space. Does that make sense? With a glue dot when you're poking the little filigree leaves back in. And I think I will put it more up like this, more upright. I think that might look nicer. And it gives me a little bit more space to tuck. It's got to not go outside the edges. Okay, let's see. They're so delicate. Can you see how delicate that is? It's so delicate. Well, let's see if we can put one up here. Yes, I think that's a good spot for one. Now this little rose is going to go here, up on dimensionals again. So this is my new sheet, so let's pop. I'm going to sort of double dimensional that and put it on top of the other rose. I think I've just gone over the half hour. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. And now if I can tuck that in under there. Oh, I do like that. Right, so let's get our glue dots and our little pokey tool. I do have, what do you call it? A take your pick tool. I do have it, but this one's got the brush on it, but this is the old pick tool, and I tend to use that a lot when I'm just at my desk. But I do have a couple of the take your pick tools for my classes, so customers can see how good they are. So fragile. I'm just going to stick that under there and press that down. There we go. And then, where's my other leaf gone? Oh, there it is. Silly me. Okay, so I'll get that off. Okay, and we're going to put it this way. So just going to tuck it under there like so. I'll push that down with my pick tool. Oh, nice. Do like it. Now, if you don't like them flapping around as much, you can get another glue dot and just secure it that way, just to give it a little bit more stability. Does that make sense? It's not working for me. There it is. And this one, it said make a nice wedding card, actually. There we go. So that just stabilizes those very delicate leaves a little bit better. Okay, now we've got to make a bow with our pecan pie center striped ribbon, and it's pecan pie. That's what it's called. It is very vanilla, but so you could use very vanilla if you didn't want to use the basic beige, or if you don't have the basic beige, you could use very vanilla for this card. And let me just turn that around. I want to make it, I don't want a big bow, I want a little bow, a teensy tiny bow. Okay, grab my ribbon scissors and I'm going to cut it this way and this way. And if that needs more trimming down the track, we can do that. There we go. And get my glue dots again. So it's not just one fold cards that take more than 30 minutes. So there we go. I might trim that down a little bit more. Come on, cooperate for me. That'll do. I won't play too much. And now we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to use the Best Birthday Wishes, and I've got a couple of very tiny scraps. I'm just tidying up as I go. So here's a scrap. Oh, if I can pick it up, here we go. Here's a little tinsy tiny scrap. I'm going to do that, and I've got this block here, and my die is falling apart out. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that in pecan pie. There it is. And some of the dauber foam has got onto my ink pad. That's not what I want. Okay, so let's just make sure Denise can get this straight, and if not, I have another strip. So I'm just going to... No, it's down too low. Turn it over. Isn't it good? We've got two sides to every piece of cardstock. Let me see. Is that straight? Not quite. I'm going to try again. Because I don't like crooked. Okay. Let me just put that down and see if I can pick it up again. Okay, let's have another go. Remember, don't rock. If you don't want to get ink from around the edges onto your stamping piece, don't rock. Okay, let's see how we go. Fingers crossed, third time lucky. Yay. I do like it when we get third time lucky. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to, on this one I cut it at an angle. I'm just thinking I'm going to probably put it here, so let's do it this way. Cut it this way. Okay. And we're going to get the pecan pie dauber that's falling apart. And with the little bit that's left on the dauber, we're just going to ink around the edges to make it look rustic and vintagey. Is that a word? Oh dear, I've got to get new daubers. This one is in such a bad state of affairs. There we go. That's terrible. Terrible state. Okay, so I shall get some little dimensionals for my banner. And I'm sorry this has gone over the half hour. I try to keep them to half an hour. Oh, now I don't want them down that end. See, I'm rushing now. Take that one off. The other one will be okay. Okay, and I'll put a little bit of snail there, and I shall get the backings off. And let's pop that like so. And that's our card for today. I've got a mess. I've got a mess. Okay, that's our card for today. So it's just a bit of a vintage rustic look, bit of scruffing, paper scruffing, splatter, and yeah, they're my two cards. But I do like the eyelet embossing folder better. All over, I like that. That looks very vintagey. And yeah, you could put a little bit of Winker Stella on it, but I don't think Winker Stella looks vintagey. I think that would take away from the vintage look, so I wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's our card for today. So the other thing I wanted to, oh, we've got to put some bling on. Oh my goodness. Okay, I found these blooming pearls that carried over, and they're in the annual catalogue. The colours are petal pink, pretty peacock, garden green, and gold. Now I used the garden green on this one, and I think it looked quite good. So let's do that again. I've got one large garden green left on this pack, so we'll use that, and we shall put it down here. And this one, I've got little ones, so let's put a couple of little ones around. We might put a little one. I could put one there. Should I put one there? I don't know. No, I don't think so. I'll put, no, that's too upright. We'll put one over here and another little one maybe over here. There we go. So they were the blooming pearls from the annual catalogue. That's better. Got to have bling. So the other thing I wanted to tell you about is my Make and Create event on Friday. It will be at 3:30 on Friday afternoon. My card and a cuppa is normally on Friday at 2 o'clock, but I've got something I've got to do on Friday, so I can't go live at 2 o'clock. So it will be 3:30 Friday afternoon. So that's if anybody placed an order with me in the months of April that was over $70, then you'll be getting a card pack in the mail this week. Let me find the card pack. It will look something like this. So that's telling you that we're going to use the Take to the Sky suite, and we will be making a card on Friday at 3:30. So let me just see if I can flick back to, yeah. So Friday 3:30 will be my Make and Create event for people who placed an order with me over $70 or more in April. You'll get a card pack in the mail this week, and we'll go live Friday the 31st of May at 3:30 to make that card for you. So thank you for watching today. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you on Friday afternoon at 3:30 for my Make and Create event. Bye for now.